You're listening to Talk of the Town on 92.7 The Bee, covering issues important to our friends and neighbors in Northwest Alabama.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk of the Town here on 92.7 The Bee. Evan Tidwell here along with a very special guest in our studios today, our very own weatherman, Randy Stoltz. Randy, thank you so much for coming by here and being with us today.
Thank you, brother. We can help people. That's what we need to do.
Absolutely.
That's our job.
Well, Randy is the official National Weather Service observer for Haleyville and the surrounding area, and he is also our official, unofficial weatherman, so I appreciate you coming in and helping us out whenever you have a chance. And we have had some storms to track here over the past few weeks as we're moving deeper on into spring and a very active severe weather season. So we want to talk about some things folks can do severe weather preparedness wise, and how not to maybe not panic when there is a threat of severe weather. You just need to prepare and be ready for it and take it as it comes. So Randy, of course in Alabama we're moving right into our spring strong storm season here coming up next month in April, which is our main one, but it's of course not limited just to that, but this is the most likely time for our biggest threat, tornadoes. Is that correct?
That's true. That's true.
So what are some of the things that we need to take into account if we're going to prepare for tornadoes this season?
If we're going to prepare for tornadoes, storm shelters, finding out where your nearest storm shelter is if you don't have one that you can get into. If you have to prepare in your house, have a helmet. It don't matter if it's a football helmet or whatever to have over your head. One of the most secure places, believe it or not, is the bathtub. And get in it, put something over you, and have that, and listen to the local weather, the weather on the TV. Be prepared. Being prepared means everything. And that's what we do at my house. And I work for the National Weather Service, so we be prepared. We're ready. I would suggest to everyone, be sure and be weather aware. And it's been brought up as a joke, but in a way it's not a joke. In Alabama, you can have all 3 seasons in one day.
That is definitely the truth, that we have seen some very rapid changes in going from winter weather to severe weather to you never know what it's going to be from a day-to-day standpoint. But I like your point about knowing where your local storm shelters are. That's why we've got our interactive map on HaleyvilleBroadcasting.com. We do have an interactive map on our website where you can look up your address, see where all the storm shelters are in Winston, Marion, Franklin, Lawrence, Walker County even. Tried to keep it within like a 30-mile radius of Haleyville, within the closest part of our listening area where you can find out if you don't have one at home, like you said, if you're one that's close to your house, or if you're caught out somewhere and hey, this is starting looking rough. There's a tornado watch that has been put out, and we need to make it to the volunteer fire department down the road and go ahead and at the shelter here. Let me ask you this, Randy. What are some of the things that you might need to take with you if you're going into shelter, even at your home? What's some of the stuff you need to keep with you other than like the helmet and stuff?
A blanket.
Okay.
Food supplies.
Okay.
Medical supplies, first aid kit.
Also, like if you have prescription medication too.
Prescription medications are a big thing. And water is one of the most precious things. And keep plenty of water. Contact your neighbors and your friends. Like, I have a storm shelter at my house that's big enough for 20 people.
Oh, wow.
So most of my neighbors come to my house, and I put them in there, and then I guess you'd say I go out in harm's way. I mean, that's one of those things.
You go and do what we advise people not to do, and that's going and looking for the problems.
Yeah,
that's what we have to do.
Yeah, I go out and watch for the problems, and but
also, of course, spare batteries. I
Spare
always tell
batteries.
people a battery-powered radio, even if it's AM and FM and weather, you can listen to the National Weather Service Robo Voice, or you can listen to us right here at 92.7 The B, because we will be here in this room doing weather coverage. We've got our radar pulled up.
We'll be here,
direct
brother.
line to the National Weather Service. So
we're gonna be here, brother.
we will relay any information, and of course, you're not relying on cell phone service or anything like that with the
I
radio.
would say something being protective.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people use candles and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a fire hazard. I would suggest, and what we've got in our house is all battery-powered candles, battery-powered lanterns. To me, that's the safest thing to do because I was a firefighter for 30 years. So that's something that people need to look into, and they're not that expensive. Not that expensive at all.
And another hazard would be like if you were using propane heaters or cook stoves or something indoors. That's something you don't want to do.
Got to be careful on account of the carbon monoxide poisoning.
So we're talking about two things here, not only weathering the actual storm, staying safe, like with the helmet, blanket, have cover that you need to get into to avoid flying debris, safe space, whether that's your bathroom or interior room, basement, but also having stuff with you close by, even if you don't take damage yourself at your home. Utilities can go down, power will be out. You're still going to have to maintain some level of comfort or survival until the power or, heaven forbid, water service or gas service be interrupted, to where you can wait through the storm, get back to normal.
I agree with that. And me and a friend of mine, we took it upon ourselves in April of 27 when the big tornadoes come. We went to Florence, bought supplies, brought back here, no charge to nobody other than to pay for the supplies. And we hauled for, gosh, I don't know how many days. But I cooked because the power was off, and I'm a deer hunter. So I cooked food and stuff, and we fed our whole neighborhood for a week.
There you go.
So, I mean, not just yourself, but look out for your neighbors. You know, you may have a neighbor that's not your best friend, but after a disaster happens, they're your best friend.
It's kind of civilization on a small scale. You got to get along, and maybe somebody has some skills or has some extra food that they can help you out with, or maybe somebody else down the road, has another skill, or they know how to work on a generator, or
Yeah, we all need to work together. We all need to be one. We look out for all of us, and that's been my purpose since I first went into law enforcement, and since I went to work for the National Weather Service, which I was in law enforcement way before I went to work for the National Weather Service. But I was sworn to protect and serve, and I'll do that till I turn my toes up. That's what I'm going to do.
You got to help. You got to look out for your friends and neighbors.
That's exactly
even
right.
if you might not know them that well.
That's exactly right.
One of the things I saw that I was very appreciative of, so after the tornadoes hit April 27th, 2011, myself and some other radio guys, we set up a broadcast booth in Florence Fire Department, loaned us their mobile command trailer. They set it up in front of the rescue squad building in Phil Campbell, and thank goodness they had the generator there, and the FBI had 2 satellite phones that they brought in the day after the tornadoes. They gave us one of them to use, and then later when a phone line was ran back up to Spruce Pine, they got 2 phone lines ran in. They gave us one of them, so we hooked up our remote gear and were able to go on the air and relay recovery information. And we were so thankful of the church ladies, the churches there in Phil Campbell, kept us fed, kept all the volunteers fed, and it was a wonderful thing the way that community came together to look out for their own.
That's what we did here in Heidelberg. Everybody done it. We cooked for the power company, rescue workers, everybody that was here, we cooked for at the Heidelberg Fire Department. And we kept everybody fed, everybody took care of, and then our church done what you said. They went to Hackleburg, Alabama, where it was basically demolished, and set up and worked for 2 weeks. And it's a great thing. I don't know how to say it in the state of Alabama, but when a disaster happens, we come together. We come together. And that's what we all need to do this day and time.
And without any federal prompting either.
Yeah, really. Yeah, that's for sure. That is for sure. That is for sure.
That's the wonderful thing about being in a small town and growing up in the country, and especially going to small churches. Nothing against large churches, but it's the small ones. I tell you, there'll be 3 or 4 ladies that will be, hey, we're gonna just go cook, and nobody has to ask them or anything. They'll just go and do it. So that was a wonderful thing. And there again, shout out to 2 of the restaurants, 2 of our sponsors here. Pizza Hut and Guthrie's brought food up there. They had brought the pizza trailer up, and we're cooking little personal pan pizzas, which tasted really good. And the late Mrs. Melissa Guthrie. We lost a few years ago. She was such a sweetheart. She came up there and was handing out Guthrie's golden fried chicken fingers up there. So that was 2 really good meals.
Let me give you some background on me.
Okay.
My first job was at Guthrie's restaurant.
No kidding.
I worked for them and managed the place at one time for 7 years.
That's awesome.
I worked for Hal and Melissa and Pop Guthrie.
That's cool.
And that's what we did. That's what we did, help the community, because the community thrives your business. And it was a great thing. It was a great thing. And like I said, we had so many people come in here. The Red Cross come in when we had those bad tornadoes and all. They come in and set up and served a little. And then one of the Red Cross workers approached my wife and says, y'all don't need us here. Y'all got everything you need, That's what Heidelberg is. Heidelberg takes care of Heidelberg, Double Springs, Lynn, or whatever we need to do, we do it. So,
and it's good. I think our role in that is being kind of the communication base to share what people need. And one example, we'll take a quick break here, but in closing, talking about April 27th, one of the things that was very heartening for me was the fact that there was no communications left. Television had just transitioned to digital a couple of years before. So anybody that had the little portable televisions, they didn't work. They were analog.
Yeah.
You had to have a battery-operated radio. There was no internet service, no cell phone service, no telephone service, no power. So we have seen firsthand how bad it can really get when you have nothing. But one of the things was the state, for whatever reason, didn't really have a communications channel with their state troopers. So the state troopers that were on traffic control, they were listening to us on the radio and relaying that information out. They told us this on our last day there when power was restored, and they got the cell phone in there and like, it's time for us to wrap up. We've done our job. But they said that they were listening to us on the radio and relaying that information out to people when they ask. And that was so great that to find out that we were providing that service to them when they needed it.
I gave, now I was working the day of the tornado in November, and I can't tell you what year it is.
2001 that hit Haleville here.
Yes.
Yeah.
I gave out a call for all assistance available. I had a state trooper walk in the door, and he says, "Are you Mr. Stultz?" And I said, "Yes, sir, I am." He said, "What do you need?" I said, "We need help to seal off this town to make sure we don't have looters or whatever." He went outside, came back in. He said, "Mr. Stultz, I've got 25 troopers on the way."
There you go.
He said, "Don't worry about your town. You're covered." So, I mean, you know.
It's wonderful when
Excuse me.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful when you're available to help in a situation like that.
That's for
We're going to
sure.
take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll have more on severe weather preparedness here going into the springtime. We're listening to Talk of the Town right here on 92.7 The Bee.
You are listening to Talk of the Town on 92.7 The Bee, covering issues important to our friends and neighbors in Northwest Alabama.
And we're back with Talk of the Town on 92.7 The Bee. We are sitting down with Randy Stultz today. He's the National Weather Service observer for Haleyville and our weather guy. Randy, thank you again for being here with us today. And one of the things I wanted to talk about was not setting us up to be something special, but folks need to avoid, say, questionable social media posts and things when people start exaggerating about the weather and threats and things like that. And you need to have a reliable weather source for the information that you're going to act on, whether that is us, whether that's directly from the National Weather Service, or like you said, you have access right through your phone. You can call them up, find out exactly what we need to put on the air to keep folks safe.
That's true. That's true. And I've got a direct line to the National Weather Service, which you already know. And there's so much false information out there that scares people to death when they shouldn't be scared. But there's stuff out there that needs to be, you know. Something I would encourage people to do was listen to the local radio station, the closest TV station to them. Just give a shout out to James Spann.
Mm-hmm.
He is a special guy.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, you need to take all weather serious, because it can change. And here in Alabama, it can change anytime.
Mm-hmm.
I've been there, done that.
It leaves for lunch and comes back dressed completely differently.
Yes.
But yeah,
Yes.
One other thing there again with the National Weather Service and here with weather coverage here is we don't get paid anything to do weather coverage.
No.
So we're
No.
not going after what some of these social media pages are doing, and they're wanting the likes, they're wanting the shares, and they may exaggerate, or in the worst cases, if it's an automated account, completely falsify information in order to get that feedback and generate the ad dollars from that's whatever social media site they're on.
I agree.
We're not looking to do that.
I agree 100%.
The only thing I want is when we see somebody at the store the next week, hey, thanks for the heads up. You know, that's
Yeah. I mean, that means everything. That means everything. You know.
Well, we were talking about being prepared. You know, going into the springtime, we've got a checklist of some stuff that you need to keep with you for severe weather that you need to have close to, either in a go bag or in a box if it's inside your storm shelter at home, or in a duffel bag that you can take with you if you need to go somewhere, or have in your vehicle if you happen to commute, have to drive back and forth and an hour or two to work. You need to have this stuff with you wherever you need to go shelter. As you mentioned, the most important thing, staying hydrated. We're doing that right now. So got to have the water 1 gallon per day per person. Food non-perishable that you can keep in storage for a while, whether that's even, we were talking about always keeping peanut butter crackers around. That's our snack, or Pop-Tarts, or whatever else you need to snack. Big fellas, we got to keep our food up, but have some non-perishable food on there. As I mentioned before, AM/FM weather radio. And some spare batteries. So whatever they take, get you some good quality batteries that are not going to leak. Also, you were talking about not relying on candles or anything with an open flame on there. Flashlight, spare batteries for it as well. A first aid kit. A trauma kit would be really good, but even something just with, it's simple first aid, a boo-boo kit, with some disinfectant, what am I trying to say?
Yeah, disinfectant, Band-Aids, maybe a bandage,
So if you are in storm damage and you snag yourself on some splintered wood or something like that, you can patch yourself up. Sturdy shoes.
Yes.
If you do experience damage, something that you're going to be able to, even if there's debris in your yard that's not yours.
Not step on a nail.
Not step on a nail. Baby wipes,
Yes.
good thing, clean up with. Plastic trash bags.
Yes.
That you can either not only for waste, but if you have had storm damage and you need some dry storage, put them in a trash bag, store that away, and it's waterproof. Elder care needs. Everything we mentioned, medications as well. If you have blood pressure, sugar medicine, anything like that, make sure you have some of that on hand. And if it's possible, have some extra on. Don't run completely out before you get your prescription refilled. Pet care needs. If you have dogs, cats, make sure they have some extra food, maybe some extra water for them as well. Duct tape. Where would we be without duct tape?
Where would we be without duct tape? Duct tape is a big thing.
If it moves and shouldn't, duct tape. If it doesn't move and should, hammer. Dust mask. Multiple uses for that as well, because there could be some stuff going around that you don't need to breathe.
That's exactly right.
Electronics chargers, spare charger for your phone. And another thing, where we're talking about with flashlights and things of that nature, if you have like a spare battery pack where you can recharge your cell phone or other electronics with USB ports on there, those are great to have. Hand sanitizer goes along with the baby wipes. You need to, and that also, if you need to clean out a cut, something like that, put some hand sanitizer on it. It'll hurt like the dickens, but it'll get the job done.
Yeah.
Toiletries, basically, your shaving kit, have some spare shampoo and stuff. Also some cash on hand. If there's and I would also suggest if there's a store that does not have a computer system that can actually sell you stuff if the power goes out in their own generator,
Yeah.
Or I should say cell phone service goes out.
That's true.
To where you'll be able to buy some gasoline or something like that.
Yes.
Know some place that knows how to count back change. Personal documents, your Social Security. Of course, your driver's license should be in your wallet or billfold, but keeping your birth certificates, precious documents, keep those close at hand. You don't want those lost in a storm if, heaven forbid, if you lose your house or, those need to be either in a safe place at your home or in a safety deposit box at your bank.
I keep mine in a safety deposit box.
Yep. Change of clothes, at least one. Multiple's better, especially going through the storm. Be nice to change and have some clean clothes to put on. Fire extinguisher, because, our fire department does a great job, but sometimes you have to be your own fireman in a pinch.
That's true. And I was a fireman for 30 years. I can tell you.
How many?
That's for sure.
How many fire extinguishers do you have in your house?
6.
There you go. Where are they at?
All over the house where I need them.
Okay. One in the bedroom?
Got one in the bedroom, got one in the laundry room, got one in the kitchen, got one in the hallway, one in the hallway closet. Anywhere that there might be something where I need it, I got it.
One a fireman told me back years ago, he said, I've got one by every exit, one by my bed, one by my breaker panel in case I have an electrical fire. With trees going down on power lines, you never know how that's going to act, what's going to happen.
That's something I would like to touch on.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead. And I'll just
When a
say
storm-
one last thing, Randy, if I can interject, because that's the last of our thing. Notebooks and pencils.
Okay.
Because electronics may not work. Sometimes doing that is all you have to have to take notes and write numbers down that you need to remember.
Yeah.
So yes, sir.
My thing is there's several people a lot of times who will get electrocuted because a lot of times during storm weather when power lines are down, they're still hot.
Mm-hmm.
They're still hot. That is a very safety caution.
Mm-hmm.
I know you want to help your neighbors and help friends, but you've got to be cautious of lines down. If you're going to go check on a neighbor, make sure you know where that line's down. Don't step on it. Try to get over it. Do not touch it, because that is a big thing.
And make sure that you're not in water if there's a puddle of water where it's down.
That's exactly right, because it will follow that water trail.
Another thing is make sure there's no power lines entangled in any trees or limbs that are down. If you get out there with a chainsaw, make sure you know what you're cutting and there's not something wrapped up and tangled up in that.
That's exactly right. I've seen several cases where people lost their lives just trying to be good and trying to help. But you've got to be safe. Safety first. Safety first is a big thing.
That's why anytime we have storms through, I always pay close attention to where there's trees down or power lines reported down, to have people avoid those areas, because you need to have the power company, first responders, street department or road department, county, city, going out there and making sure that these lines are not live and that you can actually get through those areas. It's best to, hey, let these guys who know what they're doing do their job before you get out there and
don't interfere with them.
Don't interfere with them. It's one thing there again. If you need to check on your next door neighbor, but after a storm, you don't need to get out and cruise around and go finding where that tornado hit. That's not a good thing to do.
I hate to say this, and it may be ugly.
Oh no.
But we dealt for years, police and fire. Like I said, I had 30 years in fire department, 40 years in law enforcement. Rubberneckers can cause you more trouble and more problems than anybody in the world.
Absolutely.
Stay
at home.
Stay at home.
That's one thing we tried to cover all the information that we can, satisfy people's curiosity to where, hey, I heard it on the news, and we don't have to go looking for it. We know there's a problem there. Stay away from it. So that's
exactly right.
We try to hit it on both ends, get people prepared before the storm comes through, give it coverage when the storm is happening, and then let folks know, hey, there's damage here, here, and here. Don't go there.
Right.
Give this time, because and something else there again. I'll draw on your experience. A lot of the storms that we have in Northwest Alabama happen at night.
That's true.
So you've got the reduced visibility, and you get storm damage and darkness, and folks going out and trying to see.
Or even sometimes trying to help, and it costs them their life. Let the professionals do what they do.
Yep. And if it's a bad situation, then they'll do a call for volunteers. You'll have plenty of time.
And supervision.
Yeah.
Supervision.
Yep. Like we were talking about before about the church ladies, they're going to need some help sacking those meals up and taking them out to folks if they don't have power. So you will have ample opportunity to help and contribute to your community. You don't have to be the tip of the spear going out and clearing roads or, right when the storm comes through. There's folks, that's their job.
True.
Let EMA do their job and step back for a heartbeat, and you will find a place where you're needed. So
that's exactly right.
Well, Randy, anything else that we need to hit on as far as being prepared? Or
Yes.
Okay.
One thing in particular, because I heard it last night.
Okay.
People need to be really aware of lightning.
Okay.
I guess I'm a living example. I have been struck 4 times by a direct strike of lightning, but I'm still here living. I guess the good Lord's got something in place for me. But I've been burnt. I've been hit 4 times. I've been struck 3 more times. And not directly, but it done. But people need to be very aware of lightning. If you get caught out in a storm, don't go get under a tree. Because if lightning hits that tree, and the root system can go out. One of the first times I can remember, we had a preacher at our church, and his son was working on his house, and he was outside. Well, the tree was struck probably 40 yards from him, but the roots from a tree go out, just like water running.
And they're full of water.
And it took his life. And I have always had that in my mind, losing him. And he was a good boy. But you've got to be very aware in a storm of lightning. The next thing, and one of the biggest, I would say, life-taking situations in a tornado is debris. Debris is what gets you. You need to take cover. You don't need to be hit by flying glass, 2x4s, roof sheds, or whatever. Get down in a ditch, take cover. Take cover.
Because a tornado doesn't actually have to hit your house or where you're at in order to do damage to you.
That's exactly right.
It's flinging that debris a long way away from that tornado.
That's exactly right.
Well, Randy, I sure do appreciate you taking the time out to come and talk with us and give some folks some things to think about as we're heading on into severe weather season here in Alabama. And don't be afraid of it, but just knowledge is power. Be aware of it. Know what you need to do. Prepare for it ahead of time, because it's not if, but when the
That's
next
exactly
one
right.
comes. But we'll be here, and hope you are too. We appreciate you listening here to Talk of the Town here on 92.7 The Bee. We're on the air every Saturday at noon with a rerun of our program on Sunday at noon here at 92.7 FM and at HaleyvilleBroadcasting.com. I'm Evan Tidwell. Randy Stoltz. Have a great weekend, and we will hear you back here next week.
Talk of the Town is produced as a public service by WSHF. If you have a topic you would like to hear discussed, send us an email on our website at HaleyvilleBroadcasting.com. or write to us at P.O. Box 21, Haleyville 35565. Tune in again next week to hear more Talk of the Town on 92.7 The Bee.